is Fetid Devourer. This is a pretty simple encounter. This is sort of like Harjatan. Um, just a couple of mechanics. Fairly short encounter, but we've got to kind of stay on our toes. Um, so one of his big abilities is he does a knockback on everybody. Um, So when the tanks pull the boss, they want to just move to one of the walls like this, put their back to the wall, and he's going to stomp here in just a second. I think it's coming right now. He's going to stomp and it's going to knock everybody back, but because the tanks have their back to the wall, they don't get knocked back, or very far at least. That keeps the boss from getting pushed all over the place. For the rest of the raid, there's the stomp, which knocks everybody back 30 yards. There's a wall directly opposite of that one. If you point yourself at it, you don't get knocked back as far. You'll get knocked into basically the mushrooms opposite of the side where the tanks are at. He's got an energy bar. When it reaches 100, just about to do that, he's going to turn and do a breath at a random player. It's a big cone. It deals damage and applies a stack of a debuff. For the tanks, there is Terrible Thrash. You guys need to make sure you're stacked on each other. Every fourth melee hit is going to hit the nearest target for 300% of his melee damage. So basically, he's going to hit one tank, every melee swing, and then the other tank he's going to hit every fourth one for 300% of a normal swing.
So basically the same thing as the dog in Helya Raid, whatever the fuck that was called.
Yeah, did he do that one too?
Yeah, on Mythic.
Yeah. So it's physical. Both attacks are physical. Both the Terrible Thrash is what it's called, and his melee is both physical damage.
So I'm trying to tell for the animation on the breath, is that cone on the ground basically a first indicator where he draws in, or is that the damage going out?
Yeah, no, that's the draw in is just an indicator,
Okay.
And then when he actually a couple seconds later spits out, that's when it does damage.
Okay.
So in the environment is those waste receptacles. There's 6 of them around the room, and then periodically through the fight, 2 of them are going to activate. And I think it's 15 seconds. They're just going to drop crud from the ceiling. If you get hit by the crud, you're going to get a debuff. I'll go over the debuffs in a second because he actually casts those every so often also. You get a stack of a debuff, so we don't want to be near those, especially when they're about to go off. And then at the end of that 15 seconds, an ad spawns. The ad is going to channel Enticing Essence, which I want to say is a 10-12 second cast. If the cast finishes, here it goes right here, the ad spawns. Yeah, it's about a 10-second cast. It's going up. It looks longer than that, probably 20 seconds. 20-second cast. If the cast finishes, the boss runs towards the closest one, and he will get a 10% health heal and 20 extra energy. So he's going to cast his big breath more often. So essentially, we just want to make sure and split off, sort of like Mythic Harjatan. Melee will take the one that's closest, and the ranged the one farthest. Once yours is down, see if you need to switch off to the other one and help get it down. As long as we take care of killing these off, the boss will just stand against the wall here like this, and we just switch back and forth. At 50% health, he will frenzy. He deals 25% more damage, but he takes 50% more damage, so we will lust once he gets to 50%, but we still got to swap off and kill the ads that spawn. So the debuff, it is Malodorous Miasma is an 18-second dot that he places on 2 random players. You also get the debuff if you're hit by the breath or the waste disposal, like sewage spew. and it is a stacking debuff. So if you have the debuff on you and you get hit by one of those, you're going to get a stack. It deals moderate damage every 2 seconds for that 18 seconds. When it expires, you get Putrid Paroxysm, which is a 6-second debuff that deals very high damage. And that will gain a stack if you get hit by either the breath or the waste disposal while you have Putrid Paroxysm on you. And it resets the duration. So it's best not to get hit by the breath or the. Here he is. They didn't get that ad down in time. The boss is trying to absorb the essence, but they